Oh, what's happening, everybody? How are you? It is a late night. The whole house is asleep. Been on vacation now for like a good 10 days, it feels like. It's been a while, man. It's been a while. A lot of stuff has been happening. I thought I was going to go off on vacation and nothing was going to happen. I thought it was a safe time, a safe time. And here we are, just coming off a beautiful Miami Heat victory. They gentlemen sweep the Bucks again. Like gentlemen, they allow them to come into their building, get off, and you guys can have your stupid little record-breaking game, get your confidence up. But when it comes down to brass tacks, if you really want to shut that ass down and you try and win, Giannis comes up small, and that's just what it is. Gentlemen sweep, gentlemen sweep. 2-game series. We're doing this thing like baseball now. And you got one, but it's really just even. And the game really didn't even count. So whatever. I was in the building to watch yesterday too. I was just like, it doesn't even feel like a real game. It was fugazi. You're sitting there, you're watching Drew Holiday drop like 6 from downtown. You're like, that's not real basketball. He's not going to do that ever. What do you have, 5 for the season? Double it up? Hell out of here. Didn't have anything to do with it, man. So it was the nice thing to watch today, buddy. It was a nice thing to watch. So yeah, man, I don't know. It's been I just wanted to pop on because I'm bored. There's nothing to do tonight. Why the hell not? We're just kind of chilling it and doing it, man. Daniel wants to know, how was Orlando? Orlando was fun. Got to experience. You know, it's funny, man. I was at the same hotel that the Hurricanes were at. And so I walk in and there's this giant Cheez-It sign, and I text Robbie and Leroy. I'm like, hey, when is the Cheez-It Bowl? Because I had like no sense of time at this point because I've been off for a week plus, and they're like, it's Tuesday. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm at the Canes hotel, and sure enough, who's there checking in but old Coach Diaz checking it on in. I felt like he was ice grilling me too. I couldn't really tell. We had masks on, so I don't know if he could. I knew who he was. I recognized the hair, but I don't know if he knew who I was. But I felt like I was getting dirty looks. Man. Let's go. What's up, Nate? How do you feel about Avery Bradley? Love it. I love adding him to the starting line today. Starting lineup felt like it had a much better feel to it. It feels like Mo Harkless has played his way out in about 3 games. And then they need to try and they're trying to find some kind of combination. But there's a couple of things. Like, I mean, a lot of people are going nuts with the statistics and all this type of stuff. And, I would say the only real thing that we can clearly see that the Heat have a problem with over the first 4 games is taking care of the basketball. Seems to be a real bad issue. But as far as like, these lineup numbers and all this type of stuff, it's 4 games, 4 different lines. Jimmy hasn't played in 2.5 of them. So it's one of those things is really like, it's one of those things where I'm just not ready to set or determine anything yet, but I loved what he brought. I love what he brought, man. It was funny. Canes itching to get back to the show. I definitely am itching to get back to the show. It's a lot of time off, man. It was one of those things too where like I said, I didn't think this much stuff was going to happen, and it felt like it wasn't going to be that long, but man, it has been. But it's been fun too in the midst of it, getting on to, get out of town, go on a nice trip with the family. That was really cool. Being just being with them has been really awesome. They're at a fun age where it's cool to get away with that type of stuff. And the basketball stuff has just been so it's just so early on. So I figured it'd be all right. Didn't know that we were gonna have the craziest Dolphins game ever with Fitzpatrick, actually doing his stupid Fitz magic thing. But we'll see what ends up happening with this with this weekend. DJ Goron Raptors collision with that. You already know, my friend. He is going up there. He's been unbelievable. I love him. Love Slovenia. Love everything about him. Definitely deserves to go up there. Do you think that Tyler plays better off the bench? Would say start Nunn, Duncan, Butler, Myers, and Bam. So you just want to go with last year's starting lineup. Um, I think that he's looked a lot better over the last couple of days. I do think that even with his awesome dunk tonight, which was cool, Kendrick Nunn kind of had like the moment of the game, but was never heard from in the second half. Everybody got so fired up when I really did feel like it brought life to the team because it felt like it was spinning out of control a little bit. And I know that third quarter they got their biggest lead, but it was a cool moment. And I don't feel like he's had a lot of those in a while. But I don't feel like he should play very much right now. He just, for whatever the hell happened, coronavirus, just turning into a puppy, whatever. Yeah, just I don't feel like he's earned big minutes on the team right now. As far as Tyler's 20. He's going to be 21 next month. I do feel like, he's got to get some room to grow too. And so, I think that there's definitely, I think he's always best when he's just going and getting buckets and doing his baby goat stuff like he was at the end of the third quarter today. But I'm not, I think we all got to give it a little bit of a time to marinate and go. Let's see. Tobin, annoying Leroy, over under 2 segments. I'm betting the mortgage. Yeah, I won't even. I bet you I could get it done in 2 minutes. I'm annoying him on text. I do just want to rappel right in here from the home studio on like Friday for like 2 minutes. Just sabotage, just tease him. Precious and KZ greater than Mo. Love Precious Achua, man. I got to tell you, that's been one thing out of the first 4 games, because you do, like I said, I'm not over analyzing on stats and all that type of stuff this early. I'd like 5 games of the real Miami Heat to be together before I dive into that stuff. But I just love the way that guy plays, man. He really is just perennial Heat culture, always going for rebounds. And that whole thing about, the skill being, that UD and Bam have said about his skill being better at this point in his career looks true. His hands are tremendous. Big, tough, it gives you all of that type of stuff. Rohan Dragic is so underrated. Underrated. He needs more minutes. It's game 4, man. Rohan, like let's relax. It's all part of the plan to save him, baby. It's all part of the plan. Tobin, what do you think the odds are that Giannis stays in Milwaukee for his entire contract? I don't know. Stay in Milwaukee for your entire contract. Don't want him. Bam cooking him. Let's talk about the real moments of the game tonight where Bam's cooking him, taking him off the dribble. Dude wanted nothing to do with going at Bam Adebayo today. He starts chucking up threes in the fourth quarter because he got skunked. So he's just starting to throw stuff up willy-nilly. Dude wants nothing to do with going against Bam Adebayo. This is the truth. And, yes, I think, people asking, Bam to be more aggressive and all that type of stuff. Fine. I think we saw that today. It was great. I think it set the tone for the team. But, let's like, if you're watching that game, Giannis, every time that Bam is around him, he's just like, people were sweating that, oh, well, with Jay out, because Jay did a lot of defending in that series. Like, oh, well, they're going to be able to defend him the same. Nah, bro. Like, this is no bueno. He does not like this matchup. This we know. Now, look, I will say with Milwaukee, I think the Drew Holiday thing I think that's a massive upgrade for them. Massive. I think he's looked great. I think he looks like he was giving Tyler hell at times. So I think for them, it kind of upgrades what they're good at, which is front running. Gets down too late and they got to kind of come back. We'll see. That's not really his bag, but I think as far as like they were saying, the depth and George Hill and who's other dude? Bledsoe that they got rid of. No, it's a huge upgrade. Now they did sell a lot for. They did give up a lot for him, but I do think that they look slightly better with him. Oh man, Julian and Tobin, you've been lost, man. I know, man. I've been gone. Daniel taking that tackle from Oregon with the pick 3 or trading back spots to get a wide receiver. Yeah, I think weapons are important. I'm not really super concerned with with going and taking a tackle that high. I know that everybody says Sewell's amazing. But I feel like with this team, the bigger issue is the weapons, not the line. I feel like the line's not been. It's definitely had some wear and tear as the weeks have gone on. But Dolphins need stars who can go score the football, man. I'm all for that. I am all for that when it comes to this. So yeah. Jose, how long is Jimmy expected to be out? I don't know the answer to that. They're back in action on what's their schedule coming up? They got Dallas on Friday. I know that, and that's on the road. Let's see my phone out here. So we got Dallas, and then back home. I would say, I don't know the specifics of his ankle, but I would say like him missing Friday and then not having to play again until Monday back at home, like so he doesn't have to travel or anything like that. I would say that's a pretty safe bet. Like, don't expect him on. If I'm just looking at it from the outside, like, maybe we'll get an update, and we'll probably not from Spo tomorrow because they just played back to back. But I would say I wouldn't think it crazy for him not to play the Dallas game and then for the one odd game on the road and then just, come back and play the home games. Let's see. Can't wait till Friday till Luka learns the greatest Slovenian ball. This we know. Goran is still king of Slovenia. Okay. Luka is the great prince. Super talented. All right. I like watching Luka play. Also adorable. Not as adorable, but adorable. But he is not king. He is still boy compared to Tyler Hero. Mom and I were wondering what you were up to with all the crazy sports news. Good to see you back. Happy holidays. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that, man. Shout out. Yeah, just been on vacation. That's it, man. Even my uncle was texting me the other day. He's like, "Are you sick?" I'm like, no, I had time off. I didn't take any time off this year. And I don't like taking time off. It drives my wife nuts. So I've done my best. Definitely been getting the itch this week. Even been thinking of like calling it off, but I'm just like, I don't think, there'll be takes out there. Like you always think like you're missing everything. And, then you realize like it's fine. I literally have nothing to do tonight. So I was like, yeah, why not? Let's get out there. Why no KZ? I don't know. Why no KZ, man. I think that I got to see KZ live last night. I think that I don't know if that performance that he had in the preseason where he was like he looked like baby Giannis and he was like 6'10" from downtown. I think that that might have been a bit of an anomaly. I thought that he had a shot that looked a little flat. I know it was only a few attempts, but I thought that he had a shot that looked a little flat. So maybe that's what it is. I just don't think that they think he's quite right. I tell you, on defensive end, I think he looks fantastic. Wingspan for days. And we all love wingspan. It's the most cherished thing right now in basketball. So yeah, I think there's some more season, but I think he's going to get opportunities. Like I think when there are moments, I don't think he's going to just be like DNP out. I think like there'll be pockets of games where he'll get his chances. I think it's going to be I think it's interesting. I think he'll get a lot of like what Bam got his rookie year. He'll probably get a lot this year. I'm surprised they're going with, the thing I think that's really surprising is how early they've gone and trusted Precious. I think that really shows you something. One, especially from the veterans that they have, like Myers, Mo, Kelly, like they're going with Precious right off the bench, off the bat, which I think is pretty awesome. I mean, it's definitely been a change in policy. They've definitely trusted younger guys more. But I think that's really, really, really great. Random, Jared, are you a Howard Stern fan? Hugely was when I was younger. I don't listen to Howard as much just because I've been working mornings for the last 7 years. But he's the GOAT. Yeah, I love Howard. It's just a matchup of time slots that I just never went around and got into listening. And then I never got like Sirius installed in my car, and I kind of just diverted off to podcasts. But Howard's the GOAT, man. All respect for the great for the king of all media. There was another one. What did you think of Bam's bounce back tonight? Great question, Hayden. I thought it was fantastic. A lot of dirty Heat slander yesterday. I saw some people talking about, oh, this is Hassan 2.0, got his money, checked out. No, sir. You know, I definitely know that everybody wants to see Bam be aggressive and go take a bunch of shots. I think we saw a lot of that tonight. I think that's what I was most happy with. Shutting Giannis's ass down, also awesome. And you guys can come at me with, oh, you had a triple-double. Nah, it was a weak-ass triple-double from Giannis Antetokounmpo. Fugazi numbers. We know on those one-on-one matchups who really got the best of it. And it was Bam on Giannis Antetokounmpo. I thought his bounce back was marvelous. I loved him afterwards saying that this is unacceptable in that culture. That he is 47 points. Holy crap. I mean, like, you couldn't believe it. I mean, watching that yesterday, seeing that in person, it was a bloodbath. It really, really was. But I thought he was tremendous tonight. I think that he showed real leadership. I think that, as Jimmy says, he's the heart and soul of the team. I think there is an element that, yeah, he still needs to get to that personality of taking over games. But I didn't even think that he forced it today. Like, I didn't think that there were moments where Bam was being overly aggressive. But you saw that, like, with that one play where he tried to go just jam it right on Giannis's face. Giannis had to foul him. That was like a big switch. And I thought that was huge for him in that performance. Are any of your family members made men? No, man. No, they're not. 5 reasons was hating on you hard. I mean, there's no reason to. I've been I don't know if I believe you, man. I got to be honest with you. I mean, most of those guys are pretty cool with me, but if they're not, but if they are, then I would be disappointed because I've been nothing but supportive. But I don't know if that's legit or not. If you give me more deets, I would be happy to respond. But I would find that hard to believe. If they were, hurt my heart. They would hurt my heart because I've been nothing but great to old. 5 reasons. Faux show. Let's see. Let's see. Thoughts on the Hawks? I don't have any thoughts on that. I got to tell you, Bill, I got no thoughts on the Hawks this year. I've not watched them once, so I don't want to lie to you. I would be completely bullshitting you, man. So I don't know. I don't know, man. Tobin, are the Fish going to do anything this offseason? That's a great question, Kevin. I don't know what the hell they're going to do this offseason, man. I haven't heard really, it feels like anything. And I'm not like on the up and up on like all the maneuvers that they're going to go make, because I feel like most of what you hope is like, holy hell, can some of the young guys, like, can we see any of them like truly, truly hit? And I mean that in, can they be consistent major leaguers, and literally, can they hit? Can Monte hit? Can Jazz hit? Can Lewin hit? I think that's what you're kind of waiting on with all of these guys, is like, they'll make a leap when I think like one of those guys absolutely makes a thing. So I don't know. I haven't heard much. I know that they're supposedly going to be doing a lot of bullpen work. Like, that's the hubbub. Marlins are going to be doing a lot of bullpen stuff. So tremendous. Let's see. Tobin, your thoughts on the Finns Buffalo game on Sunday? I'm actually a little bit nervous about it, Josh, for a couple of reasons. I'm nervous because I don't like the fact that the Bills are gonna like maybe take the foot off the pedal. I almost would want it to be in a situation where it's like really for all the marbles. I don't like that such. It feels like it sets you up for more heartbreak. Um, I still like playing Tua. I still think you got to you kind of roll them. I almost feel like Fitzpatrick at this point is almost like where Matt Moore was a couple of years ago. Like it's probably almost better to bring him in where they've been preparing for Tua the whole time, and you can kind of just bring in the crazy old man to save your ass if you need it. I've been disappointed. I was disappointed in Tua's performance for sure. Um, that he's definitely been ultra conservative with the football. I don't like, in fairness, I don't think that he has any playmakers. Um, but I want to see him. I want to see him take those chances. I think he's good enough. I think he's got all the tools to do it, and I still think that they should roll with him. But I think Flo's shown that he's not afraid to pull the trigger. Look, I give Flo credit. The dude's got big balls. He's gonna go and do some things that are he's gonna go and do some things that are unconventional and that play up against what kind of the rules of football have been. I think it probably helps that he's a defensive guy. And so and even that he's just kind of done every role in football too. That's helped out. Um but it feels like even if you make the playoffs, I mean, not, obviously, if you do real winning in the playoffs with Fitzpatrick, maybe that's different. But if you just make the playoffs with Fitzpatrick, um, yeah, it's a great accomplishment, and yeah, it's a testament to the culture. But it's not going to have all the gratification you will as if you were to play Tua and he were the guy to be the quarterback that got you into the playoffs. It's also not like he's been a bum. It's just been in games where he's just kind of been overtly average. But there's also been really great flashes as well. And I don't like that getting taken away from me. And I do think that you have to be aware of this. Okay. Think of Ryan Fitzpatrick's career. Okay. Think of Fitzmagic. Think about how crazy that ending was. Now, think that he could do that again. Or does the history of his career tell you that the other shoe is going to drop, boop, and he's going to do something terrible? That's all I would say. That's all I would say. Let's see. Is Hero the new J Rich overrated by the fans? No, I don't think that he's overrated. Well, look, he is the most popular Heat player. There's no doubt about that. You could recognize that last year as far as pop in the building, most jerseys, all that type of stuff. But I do think that as far as the thing that separates him from J Rich is J Rich would F up at the end of games all the time. And Tyler's kind of the opposite of that. Like the more the game gets in hand, the better he is. Honestly, you want to be better, I think, to start games and kind of get into the flow of games and whatnot than where his end of game skill is. I think his end of game skill is like huge balls, always shows up. You can see just what he has in his bag. You saw at the end of that third quarter, all the things. I mean, you got a ton of rebounds today, which is kind of crazy for a dude with T-Rex arms that he can go and get you 15 rebounds. But no, I don't think he's overrated. I think, I guess, I think his approval rating is probably maybe higher than he is as a player yet, but he's also 20. He's also 20. So, yeah. Avery Bradley is the backup point guard we need next to Hero Jokic. I agree with that. I think he's made a great first impression. Great first impression. Eduardo points out giant elephant balls. Yup. Professor Bam crossover Giannis. I didn't know he had those handles. I loved it, man. That was my moment of the game by far. That was my moment of the game by far. When he hits those, when he hit him with the crossover handles, uh, I nearly lost it. I was so happy about that. Let's see. My stepdaughter Adriana watches your lives with me all the time. She's 8, wants a shout out. Shout out Adriana. You sound like you got great taste. So shout out to you. Thank you for watching the channel. Tobin, who should we trade for? Everybody. I don't know, Lindsay. I said before I went on vacation that I wasn't in on the Harden thing. A lot of that is not in the a lot of that is not just, yeah, I don't believe in the oh, he's bad for the culture or any of that type of stuff. I think Harden's a tremendous, he's a very talented player. To say anything otherwise would be stupid. Is he a choke artist in the playoffs? Yes, he is. Do I have a little bit of a Dwayne Wade Harden thing where it's like, oh, people are dying to put Harden above Dwayne Wade in the pantheon, and I'm just never going to do that. And so for him to come to the Miami Heat and them help him in any type of pantheon argument weirds me out. Yes, it does. So I'm not really into trading for James Harden. I know that he's been amazeballs since coming back. We are putting him in a strip club hub down here in South Florida, which is maybe dangerous. I would say probably the guy I would like them to go for. I mean, I guess would cleanly like to go for Bradley Beal because I don't feel like I have that baggage. I know that he's kind of like a Wade zealot and all that type of stuff. But he's not better than James Harden. He's younger. So maybe you feel like you're better at, trading the farm and all that type of stuff for him. They've definitely started off with a rough start. I don't know if they played tonight, but I know that they've been off to a really, really, really bad start. And so, that certainly is going to help. I know that I tell you what, he loves that social media. He's on it all the damn time, liking stuff. Mrs. Beal is too, liking stuff, tweeting stuff, help, get me out of here. They're all about it. So I think ideally it would be him. If for somebody I'd be wanting the Heat to go all in for, out of anybody, but I really like this team. I really do. I'm not at the point where I'm just like, man, I feel like the Heat really need to make a move to get them over the top. Now, if another Eastern Conference team gets them, if somehow Philly were able to get him without giving up Ben Simmons, which I don't see how that's possible, but let's just say they were, yeah, that'd be really shitty for the Heat. If Brooklyn were able to get him, which I still think would be really hard with what they got, I think that would be really shitty for the Heat. It would put them in a rough spot. So there is that element to it as well. You can't just ignore that. But as far as like, oh, I'm dying for the Heat to go make this huge acquisition right now, I'm not. I would love it if like the Heat could just be able to, like, if you could do the Harden thing somehow and you could keep Duncan Robinson, God, that would be huge. But I just don't see how that's possible. I don't know why Houston would. I keep telling this to people too. Like I don't know why Houston would blink, and I kind of relate back to the Anthony Davis thing where it's like Anthony Davis literally said that he wanted to be traded to one team, and New Orleans still got everything for him, basically, other than Kuzma, which, they're probably glad they didn't get Kuzma. Brandon Ingram, I mean, he's incredible. And they honestly smacked a home run with that trade because they got rid of him and you were in a bad position. And yes, the Lakers did go win in the championship, but they still ended up with the most improved player and the number 1 pick. So that's about as good as you can get out of that situation. Are you glad Bam isn't lazy like Whiteside when he got paid? I mean, I saw some of this yesterday that people thought that was going to be a thing, and I thought it was the dumbest thing ever. Like all anybody ever says about Bam is how hard he works, how much the guy hates losing, despises losing. I didn't think the money was even a question. So yeah. Why is Myers Leonard 7 feet tall and scared of the paint? I don't know, man. Myers didn't play today. I actually would like Myers to be out there shooting more. I think that would be my desire. I think actually, like, I actually thought Myers was playing. I thought that in the Pelicans game he played pretty decently. And yesterday was rough. And when everything happened yesterday, I was kind of surprised that they went that route, that they were going to just take him out because Milwaukee is bigger. And they just went smaller. It's hard to judge anybody off of yesterday. It was such a ridiculous loss that you hate that just paints the brush. But he's going to have a shorter leash than most people because he's even as he's been a frequent starter, he is a role player. Let's see. What do you think of Gabe Vincent? I think that he was great. Made some really smart plays tonight and showed some good stuff. I thought it told something today when they put Strus in. They made Strus inactive, and I thought that signaled that Gabe was going to get some time, which he obviously did. So, he's kind of been around the team a little bit longer, so maybe knows some things. Has been around some stuff, and don't be so judgmental if he doesn't go and light things up from downtown right away. That was the same thing people said about with Duncan Robinson. So do you know roughly when Jimmy's coming back? I talked about this. I don't, Frankie, like off the top of my head, but I theorize that they got a road game on Friday, then come home. So I would guess that he probably sits one more out and then would be back, as long as it's not serious. I'm just saying if it's like a regular ankle sprain, but I'm just guessing. I don't have any insight on that. Do you think there's a common denominator to all these 30-point blowouts every single day? I don't. I don't yet. I think it's too early to know all this type of stuff. I think that one of the things that I've heard is that there's not like a real home court advantage anywhere. So, some teams may not be lagging, they may not be partying, they may not be going out. And I thought, as much as it pains me to say this, I thought Kendrick Perkins actually made a decent point on the jump today when he said, he's like, you just wouldn't have what happened in Miami in a real home game happen yesterday, because you'd get on a little run, your fans would get pumped, it would get a little bit louder. And I can tell you, being in the building yesterday, it was just like a malaise, like they try the crowd noise, and it's actually kind of loud too in the building, but it's just weird. And you didn't even realize it. Like when they said that the Heat were like on a record, like when they said that he gave up a record 3-pointer, I was like, really? Like it was one of those things where as somebody just watching the game, you didn't even realize it. And I'm not one of these guys who has the box score up as I'm watching it. As I'm watching the game, I'm kind of like looking all around. I'm kind of, observing. I like to be on, see what's going on with the bench, all that type of stuff. I'm not necessarily like keeping up with the numbers other than what's up on the Jumbotron. And so I do think that, there may be something to that, where like you're just in these games where it just doesn't feel like a real game. And obviously you don't have the stakes of the postseason and whatnot. So, that's my guess, but I'm just riffing, man. I don't know. How do you feel about the Kendrick Nunn dunk? Do you think it should be nominated for Dunk of the Year? I think it's a fair for early on. I don't know if it'll stand Dan the Film Gent, but it was an awesome play. I thought I got the team fired up. Let's see here. What's up, Total? Love the show. He'll be fine. Band needs to be huge every night. Agreed, Reggie. I thought that he was awesome tonight. Why aren't we bringing up the real glaring weakness, and that is to bring up a real center, picking up a real center? I don't know, man. I mean, like, I just say this, Mason. Like, you need a real center, but he also needs to fit with your best player. Like, I don't I don't think you necessarily can throw out just your perennial paint presence and put him in there with Bam when you already have a situation where Jimmy doesn't shoot. And so now you got three guys. I feel like it clogs a lot of stuff up. Obviously, if you get into a situation where you're taking on the Lakers again and you're taking on Anthony Davis, I hear you. I just don't know if there's that many matchups out there, and I don't know what that move is and who that guy is right now for them to go pick up. Because I get it. Like Kelly O's like a flip of the coin. You never quite know. Same thing with Myers. But also you got to make your best guy the most comfortable. And I think put the best weapons around him and Jimmy. And, for right now, those are probably going to be Duncan, Tyler, and Goran. And then, if you're in a certain matchup, somebody who's going to, whether that ends up being Precious, whether that ends up being KZ, whether that ends up being Mo Harkless, who's out there defending another wing. Looking forward to the return of Silly Sauce next week, as am I, Jimmy. I cannot wait to be back. I'm looking forward to it, man. Iggy would welcome. Hold on, let me see this. Iggy would welcome a trade back. They had none, and they liked him. And Silva matches his. Oh, you're talking about two. They had none, and so I missed who you said that they should trade for. Oh, Draymond. Okay. They're not going to trade Draymond. The Warriors aren't trading Draymond Green, bro. Let me tell you, like, the Warriors are in this mode right now, very similar to where the Heat were after LeBron left. Like, they're in the bill is due. And they should do right by their guys. Like, they have just, the Klay Thompson thing is very similar to Chris Bosh getting sick. Like, you think you're going into this year and you're going to be back and you're going to take a run at it. And you're not, because you've been dealt a blow to an all-time NBA player who's not healthy. So if you're a Warriors fan, you were blessed with an amazing 6 years. Sports doesn't always go like that. No, they should play Draymond Green and Steph Curry, and you should enjoy it. Just like we kind of had the years here where you weren't fighting for a championship, but you had some really awesome Dwayne Wade moments, and you should enjoy that. And then hopefully, that window of opportunity will open up for itself, but it's not going to be there this year for them, I don't think. And I don't think it's resulting in trading Draymond Green. Those great teams always have a shitty future. Yeah, but you never, unless you're LeBron, unless you're the team with LeBron, which is the team he never sticks around. Everybody else has their cycle. Everybody does. That's just sports. Everybody, that's why these dynasties, don't last. It's just cyclical like that. How do you think that Boogie would fit with Heat culture? I think he'd fit fine. I think this is what I've always said, like the whole Heat culture thing. Like, I think that he can get anybody to buy in for 1 to 2 years. It's the matter of like there are those guys who are like Jimmy and Bam and Goran and all the guys that you love who are all play with a chip on their shoulder, are all monsters. But I think you can also get the Shaqs, the Waiters, the Antoine Walkers, the Hassans, the guys who can buy in short term and you can turn them into something. So, yeah. What's your opinion of Mo Harkless? Don't have much one so far. Blaze have not been thoroughly impressed with Mo, but it is game 4, so I think Mo. I'm not ready to be rats off a ship on Mo Harkless yet. There's a dog outside the window. That's a little bit weird. Is it bad that I want to hear the Dolphins lose just to have Robbie have a meltdown? I just want him to break the oath, man. That's what I want him to do. I want him to break the Canes oath. I don't really want him to be heartbroken over the Dolphins. I think it'd be cool if the Dolphins make the playoffs. I like that content, for sure. But it's one of those things where you go at it, and it would be a great first show. But I feel like it'd be better if we were in the playoffs the whole way. But if I got him to break the oath, because now that the Kane season's over, that'd be tremendous. Did Spo admit to not wanting Hero as a point guard? I think he just admitted that, like, he just thinks it frees some stuff up, which is true. I just think that everybody has to look at Tyler, and his best asset right now is the fact that he can go score and that he can make some plays on the offense, and that he can look for those opportunities and not have to just worry about the responsibility of running the offense. I think that's obvious. I think that's okay. And I think that they have other options. Like, I don't even know if we get to the playoffs and Goran's not starting again. So yeah, I think that he's gonna have to go through some growing pains. He's gonna have to go through some growing pains, but we're in game. Again, it's game 4. I'd like 5 games of the regular heat with Jimmy Butler, with everybody there, and then I would like to make a judgment of it because it's still early. Do 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 do. Ryan wants me to prank Leroy. I would like to do that too. I can't wait. I got a lot of things that's coming for him. Who do you think is the best South Florida mascot? I go Bernie, numero uno. 2, Sebastian. 3, Billy the Marlin. OG Billy the Marlin. This Botox one's a little bit, not as much of a fan. I then go Victor E. Rat, and then I would go Stanley C. Panther, and then I would go TD. TD's a bum ass mascot. I got to be honest with you. I don't even think he looks like a dolphin, to be honest with you. I'd like them to go back to the days of having the actual dolphin, like an Ace Ventura. That would make me tremendously happy. Or maybe just put, Larry Zonka in a dolphin costume. I'm not a big fan of TD. Did I see the Trailblazers kill the Lakers? I did not. Tough on LeBron's birthday. I know there was a gazillion packages about that today. Jody says you're the best South Florida mascot. Thank you. Tobin, are you on the hard to heat train? I'm not on that train. I am not on that train. I explained that a little bit earlier. Do you feel bad for Hassan Whiteside? Can't say that I do. Thoughts on Goran not getting his respect? Seems like everybody talks about other players on the team and on him. Yeah, I mean, I think there's always been Gogi. It's just that he's always been that overlooked thing. I mean, he's just got one of the best stories on the team because it has just kind of been silently here that whole time. And it's so funny that he was brought to be this final piece of a championship contender, 5-6 years ago. And now here he is as one of those main cogs of a championship contender. Yeah, it was a surprise last year. But that's part of the thing that makes it great. But yeah, everybody always thinks, I thought that was going to come into this year and it was going to be slow roll. I didn't even know Goran was going to be ready to go this year. And, it's funny. I tweeted out the video of Riley with the asterisk comment, out of context, of course. But how do you not watch what he's doing? And you saw that he led you in the playoffs, and not think to yourself how much of better shot would you have had at that title if he and Bam weren't healthy. And I just think that, for all this shit that he'd take about that finals run and it was a fluke and they're the worst finals team, all this bullshit that you hear, like everybody just always seems to just forget, oh yeah, Goran and Bam weren't healthy for that series. Goran was basically out the whole series. When he came back, he was a walking corpse. Bam missed half the series, and then when he came back, just obviously wasn't the same. Went into that series, both of them went into that series banged up. I think it's okay to wonder. I'm not taking anything away from the Lakers because every champion you could go and probably nitpick something. LeBron's had championships that he's won because of guys being banged up. He's had championships he's probably lost because he's had big teammates banged up. The Warriors the same way. I just think that from my perspective, yeah, like how do you just not look at that if you're Riley, Spo, anybody in that locker room, and you think to yourself, just when you're alone at night or hanging with your boys, holy shit, if Goran Dragic was healthy, how much of a better chance would we have had in that series? Even if it was just giving Jimmy Butler a little bit of relief. Jimmy Butler was playing like the best player in the world in that series, from game 1 through basically game 5, because of game 6 he was shot. And yeah, I don't know how you watch what that guy can do, the way he can ignite your team and not think about that type of stuff. It just kills me. And people just want to be like, it's fucking Goran Dragic. You didn't lose Kevin Durant. All right, man. But like every important contender needs their best players, and the Heat didn't have 2 of theirs, and especially him as one of their best scorers. So, yeah, man. Question: Canes versus Seminoles, best rivalry in Florida. I mean, what would be the other contenders? Like Heat versus Magic and Rays versus Marlins? I would say that I think it's the best rivalry. Like, if you're going to give me the round robin of like Knowles versus FSU, FSU versus Miami, Miami versus Florida, I think that it's the best because it's probably had the best players in the pros and most legendary endings out of any of them because of wide right, wide left, all those. I would say Canes fans probably hate Gators fans a lot more, though. God, Jethro's. So, all right, everybody. I'm going to call it a night. Watch a little TV. Hope everybody's doing fantastic. I'll be back on Monday. I'll actually be back on Sunday. Do a little Fighters Fury, but I'll be back on Monday doing some, back to our normal shenanigans. Hopefully the Dolphins will be in the playoffs. Hopefully the Heat kicked Mark Cuban and Luca's ass on Friday, and we can celebrate all that. But I was lonely tonight. I was lonely. Everybody went to sleep so early here, and I just missed all of you guys. So I hope you're fantastic, and I hope you all have a great night. Have a happy New Year. Everybody be safe. Please text the show on Monday. And if you guys watch us on YouTube, thank you for doing that. Hopefully you're subscribed. Also, please download the podcast, subscribe to the podcast. We got 4 episodes every single day because the YouTube, I only put up like 20 minutes, which is maybe all you do, but maybe you want a little bit more content. Well, you get 4 hours every single day. You just go to look up Tobin and Leroy. It's right there for you, as easy as it gets. So would appreciate support that way as well. Go to theticketmiami.com. You can find everything there as well. But you guys are the best. And I'll talk to you guys Monday.